The breaking story about a fallen EFCC official with one in hospital after they raided someone's apartment at the outskirts of Awka, the state capital of Anambra State. If you look at this story, published by many Nigerian newspapers, it seems to be the official version of the story. It's a pity it ended this way for the EFCC officials. But there's another version of the story from the streets of Awka that EFCC officials raided this man's apartment early in the morning by 4 a.m. and the man shot at them in self-defense and he has a licensed gun. Anyway, since the suspect is now in police custody and they are conducting an investigation, the truth will be known in no time. But the EFCC officials must change their modus operandi. They don't need to be exposing their operatives to unnecessary harm. And according to the story, EFCC officials and operatives no longer enjoy life insurance. It stopped several years ago. So if they know this, why do they expose themselves to unnecessary harm when they are well aware that there are safer ways to conduct this kind of operation? And it's very obvious that EFCC officials operate a two-tier policing system, one for the rich and politically exposed persons and another for poor people, the so-called Yahoo boys. That's a local slang for scammers. A reminder that the main objective of the Obasanjo administration when they were setting up EFCC in the early 2000s was for them to go after politicians, because politicians steal in the billions of naira or even dollars. So they can't be spending more energy and time on local scammers who don't steal in the billions of naira instead of going after the bigger fish. Yes, this is common sense. Now, if you look at how they handle Yahaya Bello's case, they first of all declared him wanted, and Ododo, the governor of Kogi State, delivered Yahaya Bello to their headquarters on a platter. Someone they declared wanted, they couldn't arrest him. Instead, excuses came flying left, right and center. They were justifying why they couldn't arrest someone that came to their headquarters. At the end of the day, obviously a deal was made behind the scenes. Yahaya Bello submitted himself, he was interrogated and charged to court. He's now on bail, moving around freely, going to parties, organizing rallies. People are hailing him, someone that they accused of stealing more than 100 billion naira. And before they declared him wanted, they extended an invitation to him to come to their office to be interrogated. Of course, he never went to their office for any interrogation. That was why they declared him wanted. But because of the two-tier policing system they operate, they never extend invitations to Yahoo boys. All the small-time or big-time scammers, they never invite them. They always want to violently arrest them. They always want to invade their apartments in the dead of the night. This is the problem here.
I can only imagine how scared this guy is. Oh my God, I'm so scared.
Some are quick to justify their night raids, saying that it is because they don't want the suspects to destroy evidence. They want to take them by surprise. But there's a serious flaw here. It shows that they have not done their investigation perfectly. If they are relying on the evidence they will get from the suspect, then they have not done their homework. They are supposed to conduct investigation, have all the evidence they need, identify the suspect, then move in to arrest him. That evidence they have before moving in to arrest the suspect means that they are 99% sure he committed the crime. They don't need to rely on whatever they will get from him to prove that he is guilty. No, this is a flawed process. As a matter of fact, before obtaining a search warrant from a judge, they need to prove to the judge, hey, look at all these documents, look at all this evidence. They are pointing the finger to the suspect. If the judge is convinced, he will issue them a search warrant and they will go and execute it. But if they are relying 100% on the evidence they will obtain from the suspect when they raid his apartment, maybe someone tipped them off that this person is into scams just based on hearsay, there's no evidence whatsoever, and they invade the person's apartment, and at the end of the day, no evidence is obtained. They end up leaving the person traumatized. We've seen this story many times on social media. They raid people's apartments in the dead of the night. At the end of the day, they don't find any evidence. Either they went into the wrong apartment or the tip they got from the whistleblower was wrong on the person. Maybe it's just someone that works from home. He doesn't wake up every day, go to work and come back in the evening, and neighbors start suspecting that he must be into scams, and before you know it, they tip off the EFCC. They end up raiding the person's apartment without finding any evidence, and they don't pay any compensation for the trauma and destruction of doors and property.
Yeah, so
what happened was that they came at 3 a.m. early this morning. Everybody in the compound was sleeping. Already we did not have a lot of people. Like there was no people were not already in the compound. We just have like few tenants that was around at the time it happened. 3 a.m. they came, they broke my door. I've already posted the video. They broke everybody's door with machetes. I mean, is it axe? With axe. They pointed the gun at me. I was lying down. No, my neighbor was even naked when this thing happened. My neighbor was naked. So this is my other neighbor now. She tried to jump fence. She tried to jump fence. See, she saw them at the backyard.
I thought they were armed robbers, so seriously,
if you jump.
Even in the United States, where they use brute force against criminals, you will see police announcing their presence like you see in movies. They use loudspeakers to speak to the suspect. The policemen are here for you. Surrender. You are surrounded. They will announce their presence. They never come hidden. They want you to know policemen are knocking on your door. There's nothing to hide about it. There's no need to take them by surprise. And before coming there, before invading the person's home, they must have used surveillance to know that the person is in the house at that particular moment. They can't waste their time going to your home when you are not there. And another difference here is that before the police in the United States will surround someone's home, go this far to arrest a suspect, that person must be a violent criminal, a dangerously armed person. Yes. So in Nigeria, the EFCC cannot justify arresting and invading a suspect's home when the person is only accused of being a scammer. The EFCC management must retrain their operatives so as to operate under the law, because it shows that their operatives tend to always show power. They always abuse their powers and intimidate suspects. And if they are doing this, it shows that they are motivated by something else, not necessarily to enforce the law and bring suspects to justice. Yes, if they are truly motivated by enforcing the law, then why are they in a hurry? Are they the ones the suspects scammed? It doesn't make any sense. If they want to enforce the law, they must diligently conduct their investigation. Make sure the suspect will never escape based on any technicality in court. After conducting their investigation and nailing the suspect, they will now move in and arrest the person and charge him to court. But this is not what happens in Nigeria. This is not only applicable to the EFCC, but also to Nigerian police. They will arrest a suspect. Instead of charging the suspect to court, they will just go to a magistrate court and ask the magistrate to remand the person to prison for 30 days, pending investigation. This is illegal. This is abuse of power. If you have evidence that someone committed a crime, charge the person to court for the crime he committed, not lift him off from the streets and take him to a magistrate court and ask for his remand in prison. This is like punishing a suspect without evidence before you even prove that he did anything, that he committed any crime. Now to how EFCC operatives should go about arresting or searching suspects' apartments. It's not as if they don't know this, but for educative purposes, they should mount surveillance around people's homes. All the suspects they want to arrest or search their homes, just one unmarked operative can conduct surveillance around the property. If he identifies the suspect leaving his home, then they will just round the person up, arrest him, prevent him from communicating home so as not to tell someone to hide the evidence, and they will bring the suspect back to his own home in a very safe manner. In daytime, everyone is seeing that these are EFCC operatives, and they will now conduct their search in the person's home. This is as safe as it can get. Whatever evidence they now obtain from the person's apartment, they will add it to what they have already and charge the person to court. This is very simple. This is the normal procedure to follow. Another thing is, if the street version of the story is true, the suspect can claim self-defense, that he fired at them out of fear for his life. No person will see men breaking down his door or window, and the people are not saying who they are, that they came to arrest him. They don't want to waste time asking him to open the door. That's why they are breaking down his door in order to enter the house. The person can do anything to defend himself, because you can't just give up without putting up a fight. So this will mean that it will be difficult for the EFCC operative to get justice. The lesson to be learned here is that EFCC operatives must change their modus operandi. If they extend invitations to politically exposed suspects, they must start extending invitations to everyone. Every suspect for that matter, even if that person stole just 5 naira or 100 naira, they must extend invitation to the person. If he fails to show up, then they can declare him wanted and find ways to arrest the person in a safe manner. Otherwise, they will be putting not just their lives, including that of the suspects, at risk when they conduct these types of raids. Thanks for watching.
Few weeks ago, not up to maybe like barely a month now or something, EFCC came to this house. I was not around. It was my brother and his friend that was there around. I traveled. They called me on phone and told me about it. EFCC no knock. They don't do anything. They just broke this door, like break into their house, bullied people, beat them up, broke some properties. I will show you guys something. See this television like this now? It's EFCC that broke it. Like they broke it and beat the people up. People that were here, they beat them up. Like they destroyed. They were just doing like armed robbers. Now, after everything they did, they took them and took up to other 15 people in this compound along. Without any information, without any reason, without any cause, nothing. They searched their phone and they saw nothing, but they took them along. After all the stress and everything I passed through, they came back. Now, yesterday now, armed robbers, they penetrated this house and they operated exactly like EFCC. Like the way EFCC did it, they broke this door, entered this house, surrendered everybody and took everything. Like they raided this house.